7 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
This video is sponsored by Kush Online, your home for cute, comfortable, curvy wear. Kush takes the stress out of getting dressed. Hi, welcome to my channel. If you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button and make sure you hit that post notification bell so that you'll know every time we upload. Today's broadcast is sponsored by Kush Online. We take the stress out of plus-size queens worrying about what to wear.
Maybe we just love like that. Times I don't want you around. You do something to make me smile, and it's hard for me to try to doubt.
Hey, Miss Mob. I'm so happy to see you here. I hope you've had a great day. And Bush Barbies, you too. I know you may be busy, but thank you for taking the time to check out this video. Replay gang, I need y'all to do y'all thing. Guys, as you come in, please hit that like button and be sure to comment down below or in the chat. And guys, the most important part of this conversation is you. Be sure to join in the comments. Let us know how you feel. And be sure to say hello. Hey guys, welcome to my channel and welcome to another video. I hope you guys had a great Mother's Day weekend. And I hope you guys have had a great day. As you come in, if you will, please say hello in the chat. Also, guys, let us know where you from so that we could speak as we see you comment in the chat. Y'all see the title as well as the thumbnail, so y'all know whose video we will be discussing today. Now, we're doing something a little different. Although we are discussing a video made by Peach Mcintyre, she actually was talking about a young lady who's went viral in the chat. I thought it was interesting, her comments, and I thought it was interesting the fact that we were talking about, or what she was talking about, let me say that. Especially when she related it to her personal preferences and things of that nature. I don't see any comments in the chat as of yet, but guys, also, as you come in, if you will, please hit that like button. If you are new here, welcome. And if you have been here before, welcome back. Hold on. Hey, Sunrose, welcome to the live. Thank you for taking the time to come and check out this video today. I got to move some stuff over to here from the other side. Let me make sure I have our video set up so that we can go ahead and jump in. I do. Like I said, we're going to go in and talk about a video that Peach Mcintyre posted. I will not have you guys here long today. I know this is not my usual time. If you will, be sure you guys have your post notifications on. I will begin posting um, in the community posts. Different times of day we'll go live. Also, when I will be posting on my other channels, I will post that here as well. So look out for that. I have a crime channel, a gambling channel, and a traveling channel, just to name a few. I also have just me, C&B with a T, which is just us talking about things that are not so mommy related, y'all. There was two other videos posted. The one that I spoke about last night, as well as one today by Mahogany. We will get to that one. Today, we're just going to discuss this one video. Like I said, I'm not going to hold you guys long. So let's jump on into that. I don't, like I said, okay, let me get this video up so that we can start the reaction. One moment.
Asking me, how do I feel about women giving their kids up to CPS? And I said, if you feel like you can't do it no more, go ahead, give them to CPS so you won't harm them. I had no clue that it was a video of a mom doing just that, like giving the kids up.
And I do agree with making sure that your children are safe, even if that means that they are not with you. Um, the young lady, I think her name was Amora Amora Lee, I think her name was, and that is the viral video that's going around that everyone is talking about, and that's why they probably asked Peach that question.
And my opinion still stays the same. Y'all have to realize for a lot of us, times are completely different. Like growing up, bring it back to me. Growing up, my mama them had a village with us. My great grandma Merle had 20, 30 kids at her house at one time. Like that was normal to drop 20 kids off to one lady and not get her no money, no food, no nothing. And that was normal. My mama friends didn't want to go out. They'd be like, take your kid to my grandma's house. Like the village was so strong back then. Even if it was a burden to my grandma, she still wasn't going to let nothing happen to us. She still tried to feed us. Fast forward today, it is hard to get help for some of us, not all. Some of you guys are blessed with a great village, but it does take a village to raise a child. There are
Now, I want to speak on that. It is true. Back in the day, even me, if I needed my mom to watch my kids when I lived in the same city as my mother, I could easily drop them off at her house. I could drop them off at my aunt's house. It was not a problem. Somebody was going to watch them, even if they had to work together to watch them. If that was what was needed for the best of the child, it was going to be done. And it is also true these days that grandmothers are much younger. Grandmothers are active in their lives much older. So they're not going out and doing as they did back in the day. Grandmothers back in the day were older and they were at home. But now a grandmother can be 35 years old and she's saying, I ain't watching them kids, I'm going out myself. And that is true. Also, hey Joannix Lifestyle, welcome to the chat. Also, grandparents don't want to babysit that way. And she took it back to money, like they're not giving them anything, blah, blah, blah. It's not just about the material aspect, it's about the lifestyle of not only the mother, but the grandmother.
women out here that are tired. The baby daddy's not helping. Their family isn't helping, and it's just them. What do they do to prevent them from harming their own children?
Okay, let's talk about that. Number one, you shouldn't be having children you cannot afford. One person, Peach has 7 kids. Why? When you had two kids, your baby daddy was a cheater. Your baby daddy went out. Your baby daddy was who he was. When you had three, he didn't change. When you had four, he didn't change, and on and on and on. The young lady, Amora Lee or Amora Lex, whatever her name is, she has five children. Her situation is very different than Peach, and it's kind of unfair that she puts her in the same category. Her first two children were the result of a trauma that happened to her. So she has the dealing with the kids plus the fact of what happened to her. She got to deal with that too. Then she had three more children um, by guys who wouldn't help. I don't know how long they were in relationships. I don't even know if they were in relationships. But what I do know is that the dads did not help. The dads were not they didn't care. They didn't care to help. She said she reached out to her family. There was nobody. Now she's going to two different schools at the same time. Why? I don't know. Was it out of necessity or what? Now one of them, she's going to school for something dealing with music. I think learning how to basically do something with sound. She is an aspiring person who does music. I guess it's rap. I heard the song, and to tell you the truth, I don't know what it was. It was a mess, is what it was. So she's going to two different schools. She have these kids. I think her rent is $2,000 or $3,000. I know she said her monthly expenses. This is the other lady, the Amora lady, is upwards of $2,000 or $3,000. And for her, because she doesn't work, I think she works a traditional job. She gets stamps and stuff like that. So whatever the case is, whatever she gets does not tip the scale in what obligations that she has. She also mentioned getting into it with her sister, and her sister saying that she wanted to keep the kids, but then deciding that she don't at the last minute. So the girl just has drama in her life and all of these things. And so this is what Peach is speaking on. Now, speak Peach, all her kids are by the same person. All of her kids are by a guy who doesn't provide. So you can't go and say, I'm upset about a situation because he doesn't provide when you knew he didn't provide when you had three kids. You could have stopped there. This young lady, same situation. She really could have stopped early, especially after her first two children came how they came. She did not have to continue and go forward and continue to make children. So you can't put yourself in a bad situation. Another one that wants to talk about how she has no help, but loves to bring up the fact that she is this, that, and the third when other people uh, argue with her. And that's my Jazzy life. She's the same way. Let's change the background because that's the other background. The bottom line is y'all are having these children. You have to make sure that when you are unmarried and you choose to have a child, you make sure that you are having a child in a situation that you can handle whether the guy's there or not. Because quite frankly, he hasn't committed to your situation. You are the one that is having a child, but you are also the one that is not married. He can walk away at any time. Let's continue.
Get rid of them. That's how I feel. Get rid of them. Give them to somebody who can get them. Now, before you get to this point, it would be better to be proactive and build a village.
And I agree with that as well. You should try any resource that you have available. Also, it takes 9 months for a child to gestate to the point of delivery. And that 9 months, you should be working on that village. It does take a village in a traditional and a non traditional source. So if you have to create a village through people that you know or through people that you have to pay, that's what you got to do. But why would you go and have four, five, six kids that you can't handle by yourself? And the way Peach just said, get rid of them like they are a pair of old shoes. It's really kind of sad because it shouldn't be that blasé and passive. Now, the thing that is concerning to me about that other lady's story is the fact that now she's out here doing interviews and stuff like she's some kind of celebrity. Now, she said it was killing her, the fact of having to have c.p.s intervene in her situation. Now, this is what she said. If that's the case, why are you glorifying the situation by doing what you're doing? Even if she had to talk about it, she should have had one or two conversations and that be that. Not out here like you not like out here like you a celebrity on the chitlin circuit, so to speak. Let me see what y'all saying. Yeah, tomorrow is Mimi's birthday. Happy birthday to you, Mimi. You need to be sure to post all of your information in your on your community post. So if anybody want to bless you with a gift, they can do so. That is true. You should know the guy that you are out there dealing with on this level. You should know that he's able to do what you need him to do. Also, y'all need to understand when y'all are procreating what it is. Like, you need to look at his situation, you need to look at his family. People are just having unplanned pregnancies. That's why they don't know anything. They just laying down and what comes from whatever. Your birth control is on you as well as the other person. Um, you are both responsible of making sure that you are entering into this uh parenting pact the correct way. Well, I know she did say she was trying to get the fathers to help, but here's the thing. The first two kids, she said that as soon as she got money, she left the situation that she was in and she took those children and ran away. So with that being the case, that's already two fathers that can't do nothing because you left the situation, you left the scene. Okay, well, if that's the case, Joanna, because I did see an interview that she did, and she said her expenses were 3,000. She didn't say anything about any additional, but whether it's 3,000 or 5,000, if you are having to rely on a regular paycheck for that, it's still a lot of money because her point was, I am doing everything by myself. The fathers aren't helping, they aren't getting their kids, like I can't afford it. Hey, GT. Hey, GNJT. Welcome to the chat. Now, this is another thing. The interview that I saw that she did, when people asked how they could help, um, she was like, this is my socials, this is my whatever. My thing is, you no longer have the kids. So I felt like she should have let, I don't know, she should have maybe got with her social worker and found a way that the people can send money directly to help the children. She needs to obviously, if she said that her mental was not in a bad situation, but how could it not be? You said it was killing you to have to do what you were doing, which was put your kids in a unhoused situation with you and turn them over to the states on a dependency case. So you should be mentally affected. You definitely should be if that was something that you didn't want to do. Sunrose, yes. Uh, they are now. She basically turned them over. She went to the fire department. When she went to the fire department, they took her down to the city, and the city intervened, and she turned the kids over. She said she couldn't do it anymore, that she was overwhelmed. She was going to two schools. And then when she talked about money, she was talking about people sending her money to help her open two other businesses. Like, you need to finish what you started at first. And quite frankly, if they are trying to help the kids, they don't need to give you anything. You don't no longer have the responsibility of the kids. You can move into a one bedroom. You don't have to live in this big house anymore because you don't have your children. She had five kids. So her circumstances changed to where she didn't necessarily have to pay all of them bills. She could have lived smaller, got herself financially more viable, finished school. Now, what people also, in case y'all haven't heard the story, she also had just got her kids back. One of the kids' father was no longer with us, and the mother of him accused her being involved. So they had already took her children once, and it took her over a year to get them back. So with that being the case, it already was, a sticky situation. So, and Joannick says that one of her kids was in the background, that they didn't take all the kids. Well, just going by the video I saw, that's what I'm speaking on. I'm speaking on the fact that she alleged that all her kids, she chose to turn them over. And that she tried to get the fathers to get involved, and they did not choose to be involved. The police also called the fathers to come, and they all said that they could not be involved because they had other things going on. So that is the video that I saw. So that's strictly what I'm speaking on. And these facts came from her in her video. So I'm not saying you're wrong, Joannick. I'm just saying that according to the video that I saw, one was on Facebook and one of them was with a radio station. Those are the two videos that I saw. That is what I'm referring to. Sunrose, you said, did she speak on a plane? Yes, she said that she said that nobody wanted to help her, but now that she has made such a big leap by um giving up custody, now everybody's saying that they would have helped. And so with that, um she said, y'all apparently wanted me in this position. I'm in the position. Y'all can watch it, and y'all can watch me fix my situation and get my children back. She said that financially she was in a bad situation. She said in every way possible, even with the help, she was in a bad situation. She at one point she was going to two schools and she had two jobs. She said that she ended up losing the two jobs because someone called and did something, and they took her child care, her state issued child care. So at that point, she couldn't do anything. So at that point, it was just like a series of bad events that happened to her. And she just felt like, she was in a bad situation and she couldn't do it anymore. So she gave the children up. Miss Cheeks, yes, it is true. One of the fathers is no longer with us. The other two was from trauma. We aren't really supposed to say the R word on here because of YouTube. So, although, let me find my phone. Although that is true, I'm gonna have to delete that comment just because of that. Word. Hold on. Oh, here it is. But yeah, that is true. So, I mean, there wasn't a lot of people that could help, but three of her kids could have at least been put in another person's care. Um, I'm not really sure. She didn't speak on that when, in the interviews that I saw, I did not see her speak on their relationship much. Really, the only thing that I saw was her saying that when she asked them to help, they didn't and couldn't. That's what I heard and saw her say. So that's the only thing I can go by, Joanna. Let's jump back over here and look at more of the video.
You guys have to learn how to build a village outside of your family. My family don't help me with shit. I got my children in daycare, which I pay for out of my own pocket. That's my village. At the school program, that's my village. Going to regular school, that is my village. I had to learn how to be a mature adult and process my feelings while my children are away at school. Chase my dreams while my children are away at school, daycare, after school. Once they come home, I no longer matter. My children do. And it sucks because I didn't witness my parents this way. My daddy got 20 something plus children. He did whatever the fuck he wanted to do. My mama had three kids by three different men, and she had a lot of support. Could leave me at my grandma Murrah house, could take us to grandma Johnny house, could spend a night with friends. She had so much support. She could do whatever the fuck she wanted to do. She was
Okay. I think that part of her issue is jealousy that she didn't have that support. Your mother didn't have seven children, she had three. Also, the thing that Peach is not speaking on is the fact that although her father may have had a lot of kids, she could go to her father's house. She could go to her father's mother's house. Her mother had support because she had relationships with the fathers that she had children by. To this day, both of her other kids have a relationship with their father. The fathers, they know who their daddy is. They know they can go over there. You know, that's the type of support that she had as well. That's not the village that Peach built. That's why she had to manufacture her own village. So let's be honest about that. Now, I'm not going to say she wrong though. If you don't have the village, when I moved away from my family, I didn't have the village of being able to drop my kids off. So what did I have to do? I had to get daycare. Now, I never had before and after care, but I did have daycare. And the daycare that I had was open to midnight. It opened at 5 a.m. in the morning and it was open to midnight. So I was able to, while they were at school, I was able to go to school myself and then I worked in the afternoon or vice versa, whatever the case may have been. Now the fathers were asked by the police to come and get their children. So even if they had a bad relationship with the mother at that point, they were already in custody. And if they wanted to do right by their children, they could have. They chose not to. That's what it was. I mean, it just is what it is. Okay, thanks, love. No problem. Just yeah, when it comes to words like that or things like just anything. It's just a different situation because it's YouTube rules, so it's no big deal. But I do appreciate you making the adjustment. Okay, well again, Joanna, I didn't see that part. One of the grandmothers did not like the girl, and it was because she felt she was complicit with her son. So that wasn't an option. The other two kids were twins. Their father said he had two more kids on the way and he couldn't do it. Then that first two, again, the parent wasn't available for help. So, I mean, that was what it was pretty much. Yes, Miss Cheeks, she did have help from her mother. Now, is her mother going to be able to get and keep all 7 children all the time? No. Why? Because she works herself. She works, her husband works. I mean, people work to take care of their families. That's what they do. So it is not a situation that, you just have a person sitting at home. Her grandmother probably was older. She could have been somewhat disabled. She could have been anything. Whatever the case is, she was at home. And when Tracy wanted to go do stuff, she had an outlet. It just is what it is.
Not tied down to her kids. Just like many moms in the 80s and 90s, they were not tied down to their children. What you guys have.
I will speak on that. That is true. Back in the day, grandmothers were older. A lot of them weren't working, but they weren't working because some of them had husbands and didn't have to work, or they no longer was working age because maybe they were disabled, or maybe again they were just older. But households were different. They weren't paying all this high rent. Husband was paying rent. Again, they didn't financially have to do the things that people are doing now. Even my mom, now she worked when I was having my kids, but she was home by 4 p.m. So if I was the type of parent to go out, and at that time I was, yes, I could take my kids up there. Quite frankly, a lot of parents and children stayed in the same places back then. So heck, it was a matter of Friday night dropping your kids off, coming back on Sunday. That just was what it was.
Have to realize is one, this is what made me get over the fact that I don't have a village built into my family. Them hoes didn't raise us. I have said this many times.
Okay, there she go being disrespectful. Uh, Her mother didn't have to sit at the table and be, stuck at home all the time. Quite frankly, what she don't realize is she don't know what her mother gave her grandmother, because the lifestyle that Tracy had when she was young, she had a lot of money. So she went out and did what she had to do. She got what she needed to get. And see, back in them days, your parent didn't want to take nothing from you. You had to either sneak stuff in the house or sneak money in their purse. That's the things you did back then. So just because she don't know the game, she wasn't knows it like I was. I saw the game. And again, back then you also had more two-parent households than not. And because of that, um, grandparents usually were more stable than the parent was. Yeah, that's true. That shows the daddies aren't up to par. They can say anything to the public now, but back then, before it got to be a public viral story, that's what really happened. That's what she said happened, and the police as well. That's true. Tracy had a father. I mean, Tracy had a husband that worked, and she worked. Wasn't nobody sitting at home. And then why do you need your mama when your baby daddy, the one time he did work, he had a detailed business, you forced him to quit so he could work with you. Yep, that's true. Hey Mira, welcome to the chat. We are talking about the viral story. The young lady's name is Amira. But Peach is speaking on it, so we're listening to her video. Let's get back to the commentary.
My mama didn't raise me. Being that my mama didn't raise me, how can I expect her to be my village and help raise my children, especially for free, just because she loves them and their family?
Okay, so basically, she's being dishonest here because her mother did help her. Her mother not only helped her mother would provide before she had a lot of money, or when she didn't have a lot of money, her mother would go and shop if the kids needed things. Her mother did her just due. Hey, Miss K, and hey, CC. Her mother did her just due. So for her to say that her mom wasn't helping is untrue. She did help. She bought things. She showed her mother buying. She showed the big Christmases her mother would give those kids when they could. Peach is lying. It's that simple.
No, it don't exist. Instead of getting mad, let me build my own village outside of this. But if you
So Peach did build her village with daycare, before care, after care. So from about 5 a.m. to 5 p.m., that's 12 hours a day, Peach's kids are gone. Then on the other side of that, they sleep for 8 hours. So only about 4 hours a day is she parenting. And let's be honest, in the evening when them kids home, for the most part, she is gone. Even though she had all day to do whatever, she is gone.
feel like you can't build your own village and you overwhelmed and you just done, nobody won't get them anyways. Do what you have to do to keep your children alive. If that means you got to give them away to child protective services, and I'm going to pray for your kids and you going to pray for your kids that God cover them, then you go do that. Don't let nobody else make you feel bad. I have a story. This girl from Tampa.
Okay. I mean, I agree with what she is saying here. I do agree with that. If you feel that you need to have intervention to keep your children safe, then you do what you have to do unapologetically. Period. Point blank. Your job as a parent is to keep your children safe, even if you have to beg, borrow, and steal. That is your job. And you shouldn't have had the children if you couldn't afford to do the job. And I don't mean just financially afford, I mean emotionally afford. If you had the wherewithal to do it, if you could not give those kids what they need, why would you have them? Why would you have them? There is no need for you to bring kids out here into this world that you cannot take care of so they can be a burden on an already burdened system. I'm just being honest. Let me jump over here and see what y'all are saying. I feel like I think I did speak to you, Mirror, didn't I? If I didn't, hey, I did speak to CCMSK. That is true. You know, she's speaking on her mother. She's speaking on her grandmother, but she's not speaking on the husband that helped her make them 7 kids. Now, that young lady that we're talking about had multiple fathers. You had one, and he wasn't able to do when you had 2 kids. So why would you expect him to be able to do down the road? That's right. Don't have kids that you can't afford to financially or emotionally support. I mean, upwards of 2, 3. After that first child, you know, you even if you didn't know before, you know how I got here. Period. So you know how to prevent that, especially if you cannot. That's true, CC. She isn't satisfied and she feels like everybody owe her something. Hey, Miss Diamonds. I mean, she has a husband in the home. In the home. So there is no it is no need to go out of the home. He don't work. Exactly. When you and let's be honest, remember when he was gone, Peach almost fell apart. She couldn't handle her own kids now.
Her daughter had autism and she kept asking for help. Like she had even asked me reached out to me for advice. I gave her some. Then one night she reached out to me and I gave her some advice, and then she reached out to me again, and I was like, hey, I'm driving, I'm gonna hit you back up later. Did not hit her back. She drowned her baby in the Hillsborough River here in Tampa, Florida. She did not have no help. She was reaching out to her baby daddy, to her family. Nobody was coming to help her. Everybody was just judging her. And as soon as something happened to the kids, people like, oh, I would have helped. I would have helped. Want to do the crybaby shit. When we as mothers are going through it and they see us going through it, they don't step in to help. So if you feel like you tired and you overwhelmed and you don't have a village, do whatever you gotta do to keep your children alive and not go to prison.
I do agree with that statement. However, I'm sure with that story there was more there. For one, she said that she had a child that had special needs. Um, she could have went to try to get resources, or maybe not. Yeah, he's not in any kind of therapy. I mean, even the young lady in that story, Amira, she had her kids in therapy. That was a part of the burden that she had. She must have had more than one special needs child because um, she she had um, several therapies that she said she had to get her kids to. So, with that being the case, I mean, that was kind of that just was what it was. So it's an unfortunate situation that the lady found herself in, and quite frankly, I feel like that lady should have stopped at the two that she had. You right, Joannick. Now I wholeheartedly think that they both need it because she gonna say that her mental is fine. No, it's not, and it shouldn't be. If you had to go and remove your children from your own home because of anything, you shouldn't be okay with that. And if you are okay with that, it's something wrong with you, you know. And this is the second time. She just not too long ago got him back. That's probably what made it so easy. And now she's out here on this interview circuit, which really brings more attention to the situation. It's really kind of sad if you think about it. That's true, Mira. I moved out of the town where where my family is, and with that being the case, I had to rely on others, friends that I made, things of that nature, if I needed somebody outside of school. Because one issue I had was Sunday daycare. I had enough with the regular daycare and having my kids in the evening, but Sunday daycare was really rough for me. So, I sorry about that. I um, I had to make it the adjustment. I really did. Let's finish the video.
And then, you could probably reunify with your kids. You could probably go ahead and get the psych evaluations and start speaking to your therapist and build the village. CPS will help you build the village. I always tell y'all, call CPS on yourselves. If y'all feel like y'all overwhelmed and y'all need some help with childcare, call CPS and tell them, hey, I'm about to get these kids away. I'm about to leave them home because I don't have help. I'm losing my fucking mind here. I need resources. They will give you resources for free before you even get to the point where it's just like, fuck these kids, I'm giving them away. And I have personally
Now, if you call c.p.s and tell them that you finna leave your kids at home, uh, I'm just gonna say this: that it will be very ill advised. Don't tell them people that. You might can say, I'm overwhelmed. I don't know what to do. I'm finna lose everything. I'm not gonna be able to pay my bills because I'm finna lose whatever. I don't have childcare. I need resources. You can say that. But don't call them people talking about you finna leave your kids at home. That would not be a good idea. Don't listen to Peach. Y'all see her life. Don't be no fool now.
Felt like that way. Y'all seen me. I took a 3-day vacation. My husband is my village, but sometimes he my village involuntarily. You getting your kids. These your kids. I didn't make them by myself. But what if Wood was to say, man, fuck you and these kids? Then what? So like I said, you build your village.
Peach, that's easy to say because Peach just said that yesterday about her own kids. At the casino on Mother's Day, they said that's not how she chooses to spend Mother's Day being at home with her kids. She chooses to do what she doing. So, yeah, don't listen to her there. And the thing is, you shouldn't have to tell the father that you need a break. And another thing, like Cece said, you don't give your children up because you tired. You give your children up because you're unsafe, because you are in a position that there could be no return. That's when you give them children up. You don't give them up because you're tired. I mean, for real, like that is very unsmart. So, um, let me see. Not a problem, love. I heard about that. She left a 16-month-old child at home and went on a vacation. These people out here doing some crazy stuff. And it's not always just because they're overwhelmed or don't have help. It could be sometime, but it's not always. I don't believe that every person who does that, that's their situation. Nor do I believe that every person who does that, um, oh, I lost my train of thought. I'm so sorry, guys. Um, Joannick, I think the baby passed away.
Villages in advance, be proactive so you won't be reactive to the point where you just like forget this and just get these kids up. But if that is your case, I'm not gonna judge you. I'm happy that your children are still alive. They just said in Tampa, this girl in Bama Heights.
Okay, I'm not gonna finish because that's another tragic story that she's talking about, and she wasn't sure the truth of the story, so there's no need to even finish that part of it. But like I said, guys, I wanted to speak on that. The young lady that did this, she had 5 children, and she had a whole lot of trauma in her life. So, with that case, she might have needed intervention. She was headed for a car crash. She had already experienced not having her children. So for her, it may not have been as hard to put them in custody than for someone who had never been down that road. As a matter of fact, them taking the children probably made it easier for her this time. And honestly, it seems like she just needed time to get her stuff together. So that was the choice that she made. Maybe she asked the fathers to help, but the help that she was wanting, they couldn't offer. It ain't like she just needed a babysitter to go to work. She had already lost her job. She had 2 jobs. So that was the situation there, guys. Um, and while some of the things Pete said maybe some of the things that Pete said maybe weren't wrong, but quite frankly, I do agree with CC. You don't decide you need a vacay and give your kids up. You know what I'm saying? That should be a point of no return type of situation. It just should be. Anyway, guys, that's my time for now. I just wanted to speak on this and also do a reaction to this video. I may be back a little later with a video on the Jackson. So be sure y'all have y'all post notifications on. And I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, I do appreciate you guys taking the time to check out this video.